Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: weekly Young and the Restless spoilers, January 19th to 23rd. Victoria and Adam unite. Devon and Abby face trouble. Power plays explode next week as Newmans unite. Victor escalates, and trouble looms for Abby and Devon. The stakes are high next week on the Young and the Restless. The fallout from Kane's AI decimating Newman Enterprises continues. Get ready for some drama and a whole lot of chaos. Starting with Victor finding Jack and Nikki in a compromising situation. The last thing the Abbotts need is for Victor to double, triple, quadruple down on his hatred of Jack. But that might be exactly what happens. Victor's also forced to multitask. In addition to putting Jack on notice, he prepares for battle against Matt Clark. But he's not the only Newman looking to get things done. Victoria and Adam, whose relationship has thawed lately, team up to protect Newman Enterprises. Something tells us they will make a great alliance. Victoria may become the Newman's MVP next week. She will apparently hold Billy accountable for his actions. Plus, she will hit Kane where it hurts. Finally, in other news, Abby and Devon will be featured. We haven't seen much of them lately, but the weekly spoilers forecast a new phase for the husband and wife. They predict trouble is on the horizon for Abby and Devon. What or who will they have to face? Here's next week's breakdown for January 19th to 23rd. 2026. Key takeaways: Victor's war expands as he targets Jack, Matt Clark, and the fallout from Kane's AI attack. Victoria and Adam unite to protect Newman Enterprises and Victoria makes bold moves. Abby and Evan face looming trouble as a new phase begins. What happens next week on Y&R? Monday, January 19th, 2026. Episode #13296. Victor Eric Breton receives valuable intel from Sienna Tamara Brown. Victoria, Amelia Heinel, and Adam Mark Grossman work together to protect Newman Enterprises. Nick, Joshua Moreau, ignores doctor's orders. Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. Episode #13297. Victor prepares for battle against Matt Clark. Roger Howarth. Chelsea, Melissa Claire, Egan proves herself to Nikki, Melody Thomas Scott. Victoria holds Billy Jason Thompson, who celebrated his 10th Y&R anniversary, accountable for his actions. Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. Episode #13298. Victor finds Nikki and Jack Peter Bergman in a compromising situation. Sally Courtney Hope is blindsided by Billy's decision-making. Phyllis Michelle Stafford stands her ground with Kane Billy Flynn. Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Episode #13299. Victor puts Jack on notice. Sharon Case worries about Nick's condition. Victoria hits Kane where it hurts. Friday, January 23rd, 2026. Episode number 13300. Trouble is on the horizon for Abby Melissa Ordway and Devon Britton James. Mariah Cameron Grimes receives a haunting message. Audra Zulica Silver, who recently experienced a Manhattan moment, and Holden Nathan Owens make amends with Amy. Valerie Pettiford. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. If there's one thing the Young and the Restless never allows its characters to enjoy for long, it's stability. The week of January 19th to 23rd proves exactly that as Genoa City's alliances shift, relationships strain, and power players reposition themselves for the next war. According to the latest weekly spoilers, Victoria Newman and Adam Newman unite in a move that could shake the Newman dynasty from the inside out, while Devon Hamilton and Abby Newman face mounting trouble that threatens to destabilize one of the show's most emotionally complicated couples. This week isn't about small drama, it's about tectonic movement. Because when the Newman siblings stop fighting each other and start working together, the rest of Genoa City should start bracing for impact. And when Devon and Abby's fragile peace starts cracking again, it's never just a couple issue, it's a ripple effect that touches family, business, and the emotional heart of the canvas. Let's break down why January 19th to 23rd could be a pivotal weekend, why the consequences may linger long after Friday's credits roll. Victoria and Adam unite, a partnership nobody fully trusts. Why this alliance feels shocking. Victoria and Adam uniting is the kind of spoiler that immediately grabs attention because it runs against years of history. Their relationship has been defined by rivalry, resentment, and Victor Newman's long-standing habit of pitting his children against one another, whether intentionally or not. Victoria doesn't just dislike Adam, she distrusts him on a fundamental level. To her, Adam represents chaos in a tailored suit, someone who brings unpredictability wherever he goes. Adam, meanwhile, has spent his entire life believing Victoria is the chosen child, the one who always gets the legitimacy he's been denied. So when these two unite, it's not just unexpected, it's unnatural, which makes it fascinating. The real question: why now? Victoria and Adam don't unite because they suddenly like each other. They unite because circumstances demand it. This partnership likely forms for one of three reasons. A threat to Newman Enterprises. If an outside force is closing in, Victoria may decide Adam is the only Newman ruthless enough to handle it. A threat to Victor Newman's control. Victoria might be reaching a point where Victor's manipulation feels more like suffocation than guidance, and Adam, ironically, understands that feeling more than anyone. Mutual leverage. Sometimes, alliances aren't built on trust. They're built on necessity and shared vulnerability. Victoria and Adam may each have something the other needs: access or strategic skill. Whatever the reason, this alliance signals a shift in the Newman power structure. Victoria's motivation, control, legacy, and exhaustion. Victoria has always been the most Victor-like of the Newman children. She is strategic, disciplined, and fiercely protective of her position. But this week's spoiler hints that her instincts may be evolving. Victoria is no longer just fighting for her father's empire. She's fighting for her own identity within it. Uniting with Adam may be less about embracing him and more about protecting the Newman legacy from implosion, especially if Victor's recent moves have crossed a line even she can't tolerate. Victoria doesn't unite for emotional reasons. She unites to win. Adam's motivation, power, validation, and opportunity. Adam Newman has long been treated like the family's last resort, called upon when things get ugly, then pushed aside the moment he's useful. This alliance could be Adam's chance to rewrite that narrative. If Victoria is willing to work with him, Adam gains something he's craved for years: legitimacy. But Adam is also Adam. He won't settle for being Victoria's tool. If he joins forces with her, he will demand influence and respect. And that's where the danger lies. Because Adam doesn't just want to help the Newmans win, he wants them to admit they needed him to do it. The unspoken threat. Victor Newman's reaction. Victoria and Adam uniting isn't just about them. It's about Victor. Victor has always maintained control by keeping his children divided. He can manipulate alliances, reward loyalty, punish betrayal, and remain the unquestioned center of the family. If Victoria and Adam form their own power block, Victor loses leverage. That alone could trigger a response, and Victor's response to losing control is never subtle. He doesn't negotiate, he retaliates. So, while Victoria and Adam may believe they're strengthening the family, they may actually be forcing Victor into his most dangerous state. Threatened. Devon and Abby face trouble. Cracks in a fragile foundation. Why Devon and Abby's relationship feels constantly tested. Devon and Abby have never been a traditional soap couple. Their relationship has been unconventional from the start, shaped by complicated choices, blurred lines, and emotional landmines. They have love, they have commitment, but they also have history that refuses to stay buried. Devon has always struggled with control and betrayal. Abby has always struggled with stability and trust. Put them together, and you don't get a calm romance, get a relationship that constantly needs maintenance. The week of January 1923 suggests that maintenance is about to fail. What kind of trouble are they facing? The spoiler doesn't specify the exact nature of the trouble, but in Devon and Abby's case, trouble usually comes from three places. 1. Trust issues. Devon is sensitive to secrecy. Abby is sensitive to judgment. If either feels misunderstood, the conflict escalates quickly. 2. Outside interference. Devon and Abby don't exist in isolation. Their families, business entanglements, and co-parenting dynamics always loom nearby. An outside player stirring the pot could easily destabilize them. 3. Unresolved emotional resentment. When Devon and Abby are fine, there's lingering resentment beneath the surface. Things neither has fully forgiven or forgotten. When pressure rises, those unresolved feelings resurface like a fault line splitting open. Devon's emotional pattern. Control disguised as protection. Devon often believes he's protecting the people he loves, but his protection can turn into control, especially when he feels insecure. If Devon feels Abby is slipping away emotionally or making choices he can't predict, he tends to tighten his grip rather than communicate. That's the beginning of trouble every time. Devon's love is real, but his fear of losing what he has can make him reactive, defensive, and suspicious. Abby's emotional pattern. Independence disguised as distance. Abby's instinct when she feels pressured isn't to fight, it's to withdraw. She has learned that independence is safer than vulnerability. If Abby feels Devon is questioning her choices or demanding emotional reassurance she can't give, her default reaction may be distance. And distance, in a fragile relationship, feels like rejection.